Hello.
I know.
All right, listeners, welcome to BSFM. I am your boy, BS Lewis, of course, representing Sardi House and Radio of Radio. Today, we've got with us the world famous Texas made Megs. You know her best from me saying her name just now.
Oh my, what up?
What is up?
Nothing
It's
much.
it's nice to see you.
I know, likewise. I feel like it's always just been like text and calls and polos, and then that's it.
Actually, I see half of you because like
Yeah,
my
I'm
my
on a couch.
screen. Oh, okay, it's
I'm
down
on a
now.
couch. It's not you, it's the couch.
No,
Yeah.
it was my screen was like half the view, so you were getting two faced.
Oh, great. That's fantastic. Was it laterally or transversely? Like, let me know what look looks best.
Good words.
Thanks. I did my best. I studied anatomy. Kines was somewhere along the lines. So, yeah.
So you studied anatomy? That was your field?
I actually went in to study kines. There was a really big interest for me at one point in time with having family in the military to want to do
Mm-hmm.
physical therapy because I wanted to help direct like veterans who were disabled or needed like occupational therapy at home. And being a first time, I guess, first time college student in my family, despite having a
Congratulations.
sibling. Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, I didn't finish, so we can't say I congratulate me anytime soon.
But you
Um,
went.
I did, but I feel like I really got gypped. The program I fell in love with was like for obviously for PT. And I was misinformed by my college counselor that in order for me to be able to become a PT, I had to take this kines class. I had to fast track it. That was the only thing I had to do.
And
And
that's kinesiology, right?
yes, correct,
Okay.
kinesiology. And going into it, I'm like, okay, great. I'm still interested. And then I realized it really wasn't the subject for me. I didn't know there was an athletic training program at my university that I could have done and then gone into PT. Like I was very misled and misinformed.
Mm-hmm.
I could have easily just taken the GRE, studied for it, became a PT, and done whatever major I wanted. I could have stayed in music or theater. So that's what kind of like burned me out a little bit and ended up changing my whole course overall.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You
So,
could have
but
been music and theater, huh? You're
yeah,
a theater nerd.
I was. I wouldn't say I was a nerd. I think I enjoyed musical theater. I did try to get into a university that specialized in classical music. And because I didn't test well, my grades were good. But because I didn't test well, that was the main reason I didn't get into their program. I could have done an appeal and all that other stuff. And I was like, I was already so like in the dumps about it. And looking back now, it still worked out because I ended up with lifers, like lifetime friends from it, because I
Mm-hmm.
went to a completely different university. So it worked out in my favor. So I really don't have much regrets. It's just, I think people need to like ask more questions and really push back on their college counselors, especially if they feel misinformed and not give
Yeah.
up on it as easily as I did.
I think a lot of people when they were starting their college journey or journey into college, it's the first time they're really given free range to make their own decisions and they you don't know the right kind of questions to ask. You don't know the kind of things that you're not looking for, not asking.
Agree.
It's very hard. It's very sink or swim with like no real support, but they'll let you take out as many loans as you want.
Oh, 100%. You know how many classes they made me retake that I didn't have to retake? I
I
could have
I
just
can't
gone
get
ahead
a I
and
can't
fine.
get a goddamn personal loan these days for like $3,000 with like a full time job and a great credit score. They could let me take out like 100K to go study English if I wanted to. You know, like okay,
That's ass backwards. Like we all know that's just a bunch of bullshit.
yeah,
So yeah,
it's
no, welcome to the
all
real
part
world.
of the meat grinder.
Uh-huh. It sure is.
Got to
So
start you
even
out stressed.
oh
So
yeah.
even the weirdos who don't get their stress or their financial burden from having a child or getting married, they could
Hmm.
just screw themselves right away with college debt.
Exactly. Exactly. You want to get locked down, that'll be the way to do it. That's the first step to getting your shit locked
Yep.
down. Forget that 30-year loan you're gonna or 30-year mortgage loan you're gonna get on your house. You know what? Start off with this college debt instead. Figure out how that's gonna go. So
Yep.
yeah, interesting story. So tell me, what are
Yeah.
you working on as of lately, Mr. B.S. Lewis? What's going on? What are your
Oh
what's next
man.
for the next quarter, the next 3 months?
The next 3 months. Here's what I got going on. Well, I finished, as you know, Invasion of the Bee Girls,
Yes.
and you
And
are you are the fan so far. You're the one
thanks.
who's read it or
Well,
read
you know
most of
what?
it.
And it's good. I forgot what chapter I'm in right now. I just started, I think maybe chapter 7 or chapter 8, and I'm still going strong. Like it's an
Yeah,
easy
halfway
read.
there.
Yeah, easy read, but it's the details and the descriptions. Like I was laughing at one recently. One of your one-liners was a description of a specific type of person who had like swollen ankles of a Republican politician, and I laughed so hard. Like I actually had to go back and reread the line. Like, but those are the kind of one-liner descriptions that I really kind of got hooked on. And so the fact that I still remembered it and it's been like 3 days, I'm like, yeah, it's a really great read. If you're big on sci-fi and horror and just kind of like really nerding out a little bit, I recommend everybody else to kind of pick it up and enjoy it. It's great.
I appreciate it. It's definitely been.
Yeah.
I try to change up my writing style for that one and make it more like. I love the little pulp fiction things you can get at the grocery stores, and it's like this is a good way to kill. Like it's a 2 hour read, but it's a lot of
Right.
fun and just weird.
Oh, easily.
Um,
And
and I
I
love
took
one liners. I love to like. I never post anything, as you notice, on social media, so I try to stick my opinions like in my books
Yeah,
and see if
you're
people
kind of like a little
notice.
phantom on social media. Like if we do see you on there, we're like, oh shit, he posted. I'm like, okay, that's great.
I'm
But
like an eclipse, I'll come out once in a while and you probably shouldn't look at me when I do.
oh Lord, don't worry. I'm sure we're missing a big chunk of it's getting blocked out anyway, so it's fine. But honestly, coming from somebody who hasn't read in so long, uh, it's honestly been really nice to pick up something that I didn't think I was going to enjoy as much as I did. Like I for some people, I went to private school. It was required that we had to read almost 5 books per summer, like forced reading, and we
Mhm.
couldn't fucking stand it. It was like 3 book reports, 2 test
Summer
reports.
reading is such ass too. Like doesn't make any sense.
Dude, we're lucky if it's like Catcher in the Rye. We're lucky if it's Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Like it wasn't that. And so it's been really nice to be able to pick up a book and confidently know I'm going to actually finish the fucking book versus like just letting it collect dust on the shelf. So it's been
Hmm.
cool. I've enjoyed my summer so far. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. But so the next one we got coming out is I'm working on Devil Bat, and I got maybe 3 chapters left to write on that, but I've just been stalled out.
Life. Don't force it. I want a good ending anyway. So don't ruin it for me. Don't fuck it up and just rush through it
I'm just
anyway.
gonna make like a kid's book report. I'm just gonna be like, "What do you think happened?"
Uh,
And just end it.
you should- or you had to buy my second book to get one ending, a third book for a separate ending, and maybe a fourth one if you want a third ending, in case you didn't like how everything finished. So
Mhm.
that's what you should do. Just do a segue of shit.
I've got one book I'm working on. It's kind of like just a mess to dump everything.
Yeah.
It's called Exposition Complex, and it's about a guy who every time he falls asleep, his apartment grows bigger, and he tries to leave, but he always finds himself distracted. And so it's like kind of like surreal horror mixed with like I will just let loose on anything. It'll be a story from my past. It'll be a
Oh my
just
God.
random situation. It'll just be like a description for no reason of like the history of brass doorknobs, like just kind of
Oh my God. So it'll
crazy
be
stuff.
like
And it's
a
that's
mix of
like
back rooms, like an extension, but surprise, extra things for you to discover.
yeah. And I'm just like dumping it out, and
There
I'm
you
like
go.
it's from the perspective of a crazy guy. So any spelling mistakes are intentional, and that's like my
Undiagnosed dyslexic.
you know I figure that's like my one project that I'm just always gonna keep writing and not worry about it and just
There you
dump it
go.
out there. And if people read it, that's kind of their own fault.
Exactly. There you go. I mean, we can either enjoy it, hate it, give our feedback. It doesn't matter. You put a rating on the site, it's going to be great anyway. That
Yeah.
means you still showed up and you clicked here just to waste your fucking time even more. So thanks.
But you talked about reading summer reading rather. And was there ever any like required reading that you actually liked? Because I
Yes.
remember I went through like all of high school and a whole English program in college. I feel like there were maybe 3 books that were any good.
Yeah. Considering mine was like, It was 12 years of that shit, like first grade on all the way up until high school. And there's one book that I still have on my shelf that I highlighted and I wrote notes in, which is unusual for me. It was called Bless Me Ultima. And if
Hmm.
I can remember the storyline right, I think I remember mostly my emotions towards it versus the storyline. But for any viewers out there who already know the storyline, I'm sorry if I butchered it. It's been a minute. But it's basically the storyline of, like, there's this woman who's a curandera, like she's kind of like a medicine, a woman of medicine. It's either frowned upon or looked upon. You see two families, kind of like Romeo and Juliet, two families that
What's
merge
what's the
together.
culture of the book? What
It's
what
Latin.
language or
It's
Latin? All right.
Latin. And it's truly wonderful. Like there's one specific excerpt in there that even like people didn't in my class didn't expect me to kind of catch it, but it was really deep. And it was basically saying that, you have one family of the river and then you have one family of the moon. But if you notice at night, the moon like still reflects her rays upon the river. So you're not so divided anyway. Like it's still a reflection of each other. And it was something that I took on. And God, that was my sophomore year in, no, junior year in high school, and I fell in love with it. And I should go back and reread it so I'm not butchering this plot, but it is beautiful. And I found it in our moving boxes when we moved to this house almost 10 years ago, maybe last year, and I was like, holy shit.
Hmm.
And
I'd
I
never heard of it.
oh, you should, they made a movie out of it, but I refused to watch the movie. I've noticed that, like, for books I fell in love with, the only book I read all day in one setting ever, one day, was Harry Potter. And it was the first one. I know this sounds generic, but I don't know what it was. I was fascinated by it at the time. I was 10, so I grew up with Harry during the time it published in the US. And the thing for me was that it's it's one of those things where you have your own vision of what these characters look like.
Hmm.
But now I can't remember what they look like before I watched the movie.
Yeah,
So I don't know
absolutely.
how I remember their faces, not just the illustrations that were put in by the publisher, but I don't remember who I had in the place of Harry before Daniel Radcliffe started playing him. And so
Yeah.
that's why I miss it. So I won't watch Bless Me Ultima in the movie form. I refuse to, and I know it's already out there, but it's because I know how I envisioned her in my head and each family member. And I don't want to ruin that for me. Like I've kind of just said no. I'd rather just stay with the novel, the
Do
print.
you typically picture the characters like third person and you're watching it like a movie, or do you put yourself in the protagonist role?
I oh, that's a good way. Depending on the narration. And in this case, one of the characters is the child. He is the son of this family that's divided. And he is the one, so I do picture myself sometimes as him, as the little boy, like I'm him. But in scenes that, like, they had a Christmas vigil. So it was a mostly boy class. So one of the boys had to be the Virgin Mary and they're all laughing and giggling. So I looked at it then from the audience view so I could see the whole thing play out. Because they
Hmm.
had one little boy strung up by a string and he was the angel. And like one of them was embarrassed already because he had to be the Virgin Mary. He's pouting, he's whining. Mind you, they're all speaking in Spanish, but the print is English and Spanish. And at some point, I remember laughing so hard because they described it as like this angel falls down on the Virgin Mary. Somebody lets go of the rope and he chants something like maybe that luchadora would scream before he tackles the Virgin Mary on set during a rehearsal. And I'm dying. So in that point, I'm third person because I want to experience it from that point of view. Like I'm the parent
Hmm.
watching this shit show or the drama teacher going, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? It's just chaos. And apparently the boy who played the Virgin Mary like pees. So there's pee on the floor now. So it's just a pool of these boys running around. So I would say it varies depending on what do I really want to see. Do I want to be a part of the hurt or do I want to be a part of the person who's empathizing with them? It just
Hmm.
depends. So, what about you? That would be a good question for you. How would you view it whenever you're reading a book? Or what's your favorite book that you remember that you can't like let down? Like, that's your go to.
There's there's two, I would say, like perfect books that exist.
Hmm.
And one of them is The Phantom Toll Booth. by Norman
Oh,
Juster.
uh-huh. Okay, you
And
told me
like,
about this one.
yeah, because I mean, it is like technically a kid's book, but it's like the story is fantastic. It's like about a kid who gets a magical toll booth that when he goes inside of it, he travels to like alternate planes.
Mhm.
And it's just, you learn a lot of cool, bigger words. It takes you through like just odd scenarios. Like they come across this guy who is meant to keep them trapped forever in mindless tasks.
Oh, wow.
And so he's got the one person has to try to dig a tunnel through a mountain using a needle.
Mhm.
And while the other person has to fill out a questionnaire, and he's got all these wacky questions like, how many ice cream cones do you eat in a year? How many ice cream cones do you not eat in a year? And it's just like, it's just very surreal and odd, but like, it always made me feel smart as a kid because like there'd be big
Really?
words and like wordplay and stuff, but it never like talked down to you.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
it was just a great fun read. So I always, if I read too many lousy books in a row, I usually will slam through that one because you can read it in like, I'm a speed reader. I can read that in like an hour.
I can
But
only imagine. Considering how many
um,
books you've read and you told me how much you read per year, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
no,
Like,
I'm slacking this year. I've been
really?
averaging. I aim for 500. I usually get 200 to 300 books. This
That's
year so far, we're in like mid. We're getting to mid July. I
yeah.
just finished book 38 today, so I'm doing pretty lousy. But
That's still wild to me. Like, I think you're the only person that I know now in life that has actually read that many books within a year, even this far in a year. That's wild. That's wild,
yeah,
but
but
impressive.
I'd say the other book, and it's really a whole series. I could speak of the first four parts so far. I haven't read the fifth yet, but John Dies at the End by Jason Pargin
Oh, okay.
or Pargin. I'm not sure which how you say it, but it's about these two friends in the Midwest who accidentally take a drug at a party called soy sauce, and it allows them to like see shadow people and wormholes and all that stuff. So they're trying to protect their haunted Midwest town from demons. But the protagonist Dave, he deals with crippling depression and imposter syndrome, and then his best friend John has that moron belief in himself, and he it's just it's great, and I really see like both sides of myself in those characters, and
Nice.
it's just so good. And like the first one's called John Dies at the End, and they turned it into a movie that was so so. Um, then
Interesting.
the second one is This Book is Full of Spiders. The third one is What the Hell Did I Just Read? And the fourth one is If you're reading this book, you're in the wrong dimension.
Oh my god.
I've read the first three 9 times a piece and listened to the audiobooks twice. The fourth one I've only read 3 times so far.
I like you're like only 3 times so far. Like that's come on. Like
But
that's
it's
love.
like,
Like you actually enjoy
yeah,
this
it
series.
inspires me. It's like one of my biggest influences for everything that I write. Is just I love the comedy. I love the surreal stuff. I love the friendship in it. Like it's so good. And there's like breadcrumbs to things. Like it wasn't until my fourth reread of the third one that I
Mhm.
actually understood what the hell the prologue from the first one was about. And it just like changed everything. So
Interesting.
it's
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely I mean it's an undertaking because the first one was very long. Because it
Really?
used to be like an online blog that this guy wrote,
Oh
and
wow.
then he compiled it into like a big old book. I don't know if you're familiar with like cracked.com.
I've
It's like
heard
one,
of it, but
yeah,
elaborate. Tell me a little bit more. Was it
that's
always like a platform kind of like a blogging platform?
it's what BuzzFeed stole everything from. It was like the first humor website, and they'd have lists like 10 disgusting foods from around the world or 11 toys you can't believe they made.
That's
And
crazy.
so it's just like weird niche knowledge and ridiculous jokes. And the guy that did that website, he's the author. So it's like if you
Wow.
like crack.com and you like that kind of humor, then the books are like perfect for it.
That's wild to me. So with okay, whenever you're writing now and you may end up with like a writer's block, obviously life is lifing outside of writing and you're probably only going to get most of your inspiration either from something you've read or something you're experiencing. or something that's like conjured itself in your head. So, do you go back to your favorite books and reread them for inspiration? Is that one of your factors, or are you just like, no, like mine is mostly like living and witnessing like the craziest shit? Because some of the tales that you tell me that you that you have like lived or know people who've lived it is just worthy material.
Yeah,
Like that, I'm like,
li-
do you want to just put that in your books? So,
life definitely gives me plenty, and I think that's why I enjoy the exposition complex project, because I could write mostly true stories and then just like switch some elements to it, and then when you put a little bit of yourself in everything, it reads true, no matter what it is.
that's fair. That's fair.
But I definitely get inspiration from rereading some of the classics, and like something I've been struggling with is I would like to have more young adult or like kid friendly books,
Fair.
just
Okay.
because like I loved reading as a kid. I loved going to Scholastic Book Fair and all that crap.
Yes.
And when I go to these conventions, like I won't just sell to anyone who wants to buy something. Like I truly won't let someone buy something if I don't think they're gonna like it. Because I'd rather have a fan than like a couple of bucks, you know? And
That's fair.
like although I have some maybe childlike ideas, I
Mhm.
don't really like I usually do a lot more like surreal horror and stuff, or just a lot of nightmarish stuff. So like I don't have a lot for the kids to actually read. I attempted. I thought that I did a good job. I made one. It was my attempt at like a more YA short story, and
Yeah.
everybody told me it was too scary, and I don't know how to make
What?
it. You can read it on sardyhouse.com.
Okay. Which one was this? What was the
It's
title?
it's immersive
Okay.
by
Huh.
B.S. Lewis. It's about a kid that goes to an art museum and sees a creepy painting of a clown that might not stay in its frame.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah. Pennywise kind
well,
of
like
fucked it up for everybody
I
else.
yeah, I love Goosebumps, and I like that. Like I
Yes.
was actually scared of everything as a kid. Everything terrified me, and so like it was cool to get Goosebumps, where it's like this has mummies, werewolves, zombies,
Yeah.
whatever. But like it never went all the way scary. It just had scary elements, and it was kind of like dipping
Mhm.
my toe into stuff, and that's why like
Fair.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space was such a formative movie for me, because I didn't realize before like scary movies could also be funny,
Oh,
you
easily.
know, and it
Easily.
was a game changer for me, because like everything scared me. I'm telling you, there is this I
That's
don't
what's
know.
driving me nuts because you don't like what meeting you now. I would say bullshit. Like that's
Yeah.
not fucking true. I'm
i
the
think
scared one. Like you're
I think I had to
not
be scared for the first half of my life to be fearless for the next, you know.
fair.
But
Okay.
like I don't know why, like when you're a kid sometimes you just choose shit to be scary for no reason. Like there was a cartoon from the 20s about it was some Christmas nonsense, and there's this guy Jack Frost who was chasing around the forest creatures. And for some reason, for no reason at all, I decided, yeah, he's hiding behind my shower curtain. And like for a long time, I'd have to open the shower curtains every time I went in the bathroom to confirm Jack Frost wasn't there. And like he didn't even hide behind a shower curtain the whole cartoon, but it's just for no reason. And when I watched Peter Pan for the first time, yeah, Peter Pan, and they had the Lost Boys, and
Yeah.
you know, there's the one Lost Boy who's like the chubby one wearing a bear onesie.
Yeah.
For some reason, I decided he was scary, and he lives in my toilet. And
I'm
like, if the seat's down and I pop it up, he's gonna like slowly raise out of there.
there's no fucking way. Something
Yeah,
must have
I was just
scared
doing it to
you.
myself.
That's what I'm saying. I think something else happened to you. Like you were in the shower, something scared you, and then you linked it to something else scary. Like, and
Well,
then
those
something was in the
both were
toilet.
bathroom things, so maybe who knows? But
Yeah, I don't know what
I
happened in your
chalk it up
bathroom,
to
dude.
imagination, no medication, and an alcoholic dad. I'm probably just recipe to
Stop.
be scared of everything for a while.
It sounds like outhouses are just not the thing for you. You're like, no, fuck that.
Well, all right. I've talked about this on my other podcast, but I'll bring it up on every single one. Outhouses. There is this guy in Australia. He got bit on the balls 2 times by a black widow spider. And the chances of this happening are like it's like 4 billion to one or whatever. Have it happening twice because
Is
they like
insane.
to. they like weave webs and stuff in like damp, nasty areas.
Yeah.
And like I understand it happening once. Because in Australia, anytime you let your guard down, you're a dead man. And that includes
You're
going to the
not
bathroom.
wrong.
But if I got bit on the testicles by a black hole spider, right? I wouldn't let it happen again. I
Yeah.
would check every time. I checked for a lost boy in my toilet for like a year, and that shit never even happened. You're telling me this dude got bit and he doesn't check?
No.
Dude, bring a stick and swirl it around for a second.
That's
It's
crazy
like
to me.
it's your own fault, dude. He must have liked it, is my fan theory. And he was
My
just kind of waiting for the second bite.
I want to believe like he must have been so fucking high or so inebriated and was like, I'm gonna have to just drop a deuce and just like didn't even think twice about it. He's like, it won't happen to me again. And then it fucking happened again. I'm surprised he survived the first one, to be honest.
You know,
I'm
every
surprised he
time you
still
think
has
it
the
won't happen,
testicles. That's crazy. That's
isn't
just
it?
wild. So how okay, so now you've kind of like caught my interest. How do you feel about Peter Pan now then? Like, can you watch it or are you just like, fuck that?
Well, I haven't watched it in a long time. I
Okay.
do think that the story's kind of ridiculous. I think that the musical is terrible too. Let's just have a whole fucking musical number about how the red man is our friend and do little Native American noises. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
And
I
just weird choices on the I know the musical's not the movie, but can I say it's weird that they just decided whenever they put on the musical they're going to cast a woman as Peter Pan?
yeah,
What's the
which
point? It's a male role.
thank you. I've never understood that. I don't even know why that's even a freaking thing. I I think for me it took me so long to figure out what that was. And a part of me kind of feels like, we hear it now like, oh, they have Peter Pan syndrome and it's like the adult man or child that doesn't want to grow up. I'm like, yeah, most of us don't. Like we were rushing to grow up and all of a sudden we're slamming on the brakes. And I think that's why I liked Hook at some point. Um,
Oh,
because
Hook was solid.
that's what I mean. Like I think that was such a good follow-up to it. But watching it now, like I don't think I really understood it when I watched it when I was younger. And when I see it now, I'm like, yeah, in this fucking economy, I would want to fucking fly off to Never Ever Land and not
Right?
fucking have to deal with shit and get to be in a onesie, a bear onesie all fucking day and scare an adult child in the adult man in this
Hmm.
right now.
But let's talk Hook for a minute because I have a few thoughts that I've always wanted to share.
Okay, go for it. And I don't know if it's just my screen, but unfortunately your face is frozen. So I'm just gonna look at your face, your frozen face right now.
Oh,
So
snap. It's frozen on mine too.
is it really?
Yeah. And that's not the greatest expression that they're hitting me with.
Oh, great. I'm glad that I made the ugliest face possible.
How nerds. Unfreeze, damn you.
It would fucking
Well,
be though.
right.
That's fine. Our
But
voices are
I
still
love
attractive, so that's fine.
I love in Hook. Apparently, Dustin Hoffman as Hook decided to just play it as hardcore homosexual. And his backstory was that him and Smee were lovers that were always fighting.
I could 100% see that. A
And it,
hundred
it
percent.
worked. And Disney told him not to do it, but he's like, no, I'm going to do it. Because
No,
that's
it
Dustin
definitely.
Hoffman is a certified weirdo.
But that was like Gaston with what's his freaking face? His little helper.
LeFou.
Yes, and in the live action, LeFou actually is gay. They kind of slipped it in it towards the end that he has this massive obsession and crush over Gaston as to why he was always shooing all the women away all the time was
Hmm.
because he was like, no, 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 like don't bother him, ladies. He's not looking at you. And he knew Belle wasn't interested in him, but deep down he was like, oh my God, what a man, So it was like, fuck. So yeah, no, I kind of can see that. I 100% can see that now. That is interesting.
And then let's go to the end of Hook. I would like to say Rufio's dead. So that sucks. We all loved Rufio. Donnie
Yeah.
Brasco, good dude too. But Pan is now going to abandon all of these children after their leader's dead. And he's got to choose a new one. And he chooses the I don't know any of these kids' names. I don't even know if they had
I
names. But
I don't either, but it's the
the
one child that we did
he's
see the
he's
most.
the
Like,
yeah the large kids.
uh-huh.
And I have nothing against that kid at all. And in fact, a lot of those kids were annoying as hell, and he was not. But tell me one thing that dude did that made him worthy of the sword.
He didn't want the responsibility.
It's just like he just chose that dude at random.
And he
Like,
did. Like there is actually
those
supposed
kids are fucked. Like, you might have taken out Hook, but the rest of those are adult pirates. You
you
let this
don't know
dummy
that.
kid.
You
Yeah,
don't
those
know that.
kids are screwed as soon as he goes home. They're all dead. Rufio is the only one who could shoot and could flip and could wish I had a dad like you.
Oh my
And
god.
all this kid did was he rolled down the planks and like bowling balled people over, and that was about it.
He might grow into it, and but the thing is that I actually had this conversation with my family friend who the one is moving back to Illinois, like near where you're at. And she had told me that she had voted for this specific candidate for mayor, and dude completely switched sides sometime during his term and was a different person. And I said to her, I noticed that it's usually the people who don't want the position are usually the best leaders, because in their head they're like, if it gets you off my back, I'll fucking do it. But they're also not like swayed. They're very like they still stay true to who they were. So in my head, I like think of this little chunky kid who's like, he knew there was no way in hell he was going to be picked, but in his mind, he was just like, "Holy like, are you fucking serious? Like, you're picking me?" And then I think it kind of just elevates him a little bit more, and he might rise to the occasion. But according to the making of the film, no one knew who Robin was going to pick. He actually just picked at random. That's what the rumor is.
Well, then
Did you
that
hear
would
about that?
completely explain it because it was a totally random choice. And like I'm telling you, I'm not rooting for it, but those kids are all dead in a week. Because okay, the pirates handed their swords over. Okay, their one adult who could fly is leaving, and the pirates, they have a whole economy. They've got treasures, they've got iron smelters. You're telling me they're not going to make another gun, make another sword, and come just wreck these kids? Get the hell out of here. And that kid wasn't a killer. Rufio was a killer. He was
Dude,
willing to stab Hook if he had the chance.
this is true. This is
This
true.
kid, he doesn't have that dog in him, and you need it to like rule a bunch of adult pirates. What
But
Pan should have done was bring all the kids back.
I
Come on, Pan.
I mean, okay, hang on. I'm gonna go against no, I'm gonna agree to disagree, because yes, to your point, you're right. But at the same time, I guarantee you that Rufio wasn't this natural born killer either. Like, he became a survivor because he said, I'm tired of us getting taken advantage of it. I'm gonna do something about it. So the circumstances is what pushed him to create like himself to be the right person for this. And for all the kids behind him, they were lost. And so as Rufio starts to find them, they trust him because he has the most amount of experience, probably on his own. He was probably by himself for a long time as these kids slowly started showing up and he was finding them. I think people build themselves to their circumstances
So you
sometimes.
think you think he might have been the OG Lost Boy?
Yes, I do actually, because he knows a lot. And for him, Pan was like, I don't know who you are. How do we know that Pan was even there like that long? Robin as Pan probably wasn't as long as we think the story is, and as long as Disney did like three different movies out of it. I feel like I think Pan went in, Miss Wendy, and then came back. Like, I don't think he stayed out that long. I think he started missing family. He started missing having other kids like actually have an option to leave, and took that jump and did it himself. I think Rufio was like, I don't know how to get out, or he's like, I'm not fucking going back, and made a decision to stay. And if Rufio, like in this case, gone, you have this other kid who's randomly selected, those other kids are going to hold him accountable. They will. They're going to be like, no, dude, like, and there's a lot more on the line because that's a big set of shoes to fill.
Yeah, he's gonna fail. I hate to say it. He's
No, he's
screwed.
not. Stop
He's
talking about my
screwed.
little chocolate chunk like that.
Those kids are going down, dude.
No, they're not. It's like it's wild to think about that, but it really is like it really is circumstantial. I even say that about like people in general. When I look at adults, I see kids. I don't see just adults. Like I actually look at them, and then when I see us throw a tantrum or we're getting angry or we lose our shit for a minute, I'm like, nah, like we're still kids inside. We're still kids, but we've like learned the right way to contain our anger and not expose that to the rest of the world and keep it civil, and we're not having fist fights like a bunch of cocks in the middle of the fucking street. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, I think we are all built on circumstances, but free will plays a factor. You either say, yeah, I'm going to become this like really strong figure for myself and for the small tribe that's relying on me. Or you go, yeah, no, fuck that. I'm just going to keep running. And if somebody wants to take the lead, then I'll follow them just blindly. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe have a little bit more faith in them. But I can agree to disagree. I still see your point, though. It depends on how many pirates were left after you.
All of them, because they didn't kill nobody.
That's true.
And now they got one less lost boy, the one that could fight, and their one adult is gone. They're screwed.
Uh, yeah, I guess that's kind of true. But when you look at it, Hook is just like an old man child. So I don't know. Maybe in his with Pan not being there, he's like, ugh, whatever.
If only I could think of a modern times example where an old piece of shit man child could really fuck up a whole world and make it worse for kids.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Tell me
But
more.
I don't know. In my opinion, a character like that could still do a lot of damage.
100%. You're not wrong
Because
about that.
even if it wasn't even about like physical fighting and warfare, it's also like, dude, these kids are emotionally stunted. Like, they don't know
True.
what it's like to have someone love them. Like, they could so easily be tricked into anything. Those kids are little idiots. And then
Yeah.
didn't Tinkerbell die too? Or am I making that up? I
Oh
thought she
no.
was.
She did, I think, in that movie.
And if so, then they also lost their fairy.
Wait, did she die or did she just have an adult experience moment so that she could become a full size human to
I
be with him for a
think
minute and then she went back and
I
then
think she died from that, didn't she?
crap
Well,
now I don't
yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch to figure that out. But let's
we're gonna
talk
have
about
to
that for a
follow up
second
that.
too,
Yeah, we're
because
gonna have to recap.
Pan is slinging some deadly dick. If we want to be honest for a minute, because first in the original story, allegedly he loves Wendy, but he waits until she's like 30 years, 40 years older than him, and then forgets about her.
Yeah.
And then Tinkerbell wants him so bad, she's given up her fairy life and her magic to be with him for a second. Like, I
Uh,
don't know. This dude's got something going on. Like, he's got
well
that
he's
magic stick. I don't
okay,
know.
but think about it. It's I don't even think he was dealing it out like that. I really think it was just the fact that he was unobtainable. He was the wild horse that no one could tame. And he wasn't going to settle for anybody to kind of ground him. And the fact that Tink, she's like, this is my only opportunity to express this. Like, I never thought I was going to see him again. So it's like she knew it was like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And so she just did it. And in her mind, she thought maybe, just maybe, and she took the risk, and I'm sure she regretted it and she probably didn't. But it's, when you kind of look at it, it's like, okay, I get why she did it because we don't know how long Tink's been there. How long is the lifespan of a fucking fairy anyway? And then you've got Wendy, and Wendy became a grown ass adult to a point where Pan married her daughter, right?
Yeah, that was real screwy.
That was like the Jacob with Renesmee shit with Bella.
And then he like didn't even remember like their
Yeah.
relationship somehow. But when you're coming back now with all these memories, like, are you gonna remember that you banged that old lady and now you're with her daughter? Or like,
I don't think he did. I think it was just like Wendy wanted to bring him back home, didn't she not? And kind of make him family? Wasn't that part of her whole thing? That she wanted to give
I
them all a home with her own family? She's like, I have a home. Like I feel like you
which is
guys should
again why they shouldn't have abandoned all those children there to die at the hands of pirates. They could have brought them to the house. But
True.
I remember Pan gave her like a thimble and he thought it was a kiss, which
Yes,
that always pissed me off too. Cause I'm like, what is this dumb crap? Like
it's not dumb. It's sweet. He didn't know any
you're
better.
so bad at kissing, you think it's a thimble, bro? And why do they have a thimble?
You're such a fucking critic. I'm like, it's romantic. He's little. He's probably prepubescent. Like, he's not even 13. He probably hit maybe like 12, 13 before he ended up there. Come on.
It's
But no,
old enough to know.
I'm more of a romantic though. So in my head, it's like I see it in a sweet gesture because it's like I feel like it's so innocent when they're at that age and they're not really thinking that far into something like adults think into because they haven't experienced it yet, so they wouldn't know any better. It's kind of like when we played with our friend the other day, and she we were making like in the scheme of things talking about, hey, I'm on my way, or hey, one of our gamers was like saying, oh no, so and so, and he's like, I'm coming, and of course the adults in the chat are all like, he's coming, and she was the youngest in the group and she didn't understand. So you see what I mean? Like there's a line of innocence that doesn't get crossed that people don't know. So I feel
Hmm.
like that's the case with Peter. I really don't think they were exposed to the shit that we got exposed to as millennials growing up like
All
that.
right. And you don't have to have an answer for this, but I just want to put a query out there for you.
Yeah, do it.
If a thimble was a kiss, what would equal sex?
Ooh,
Would be like a
a
knight's
thread, a
helmet
thread
or
going
like
into the needle hole. That would be sex.
so you think it's all sewing related?
Sure, I mean we're looking in the same fucking basket, so I'm assuming it's the same shit.
See, I was kind of picturing just like a bigger metal container. Like
Like a
so
bucket.
a thimble's like on the finger, I guess, for a kiss. So maybe like like a bucket.
Just a bucket he can shit in. It's fine.
And at what point does that stop being romantic, in your opinion? Because you think the thimble being a kiss is cute and romantic. So if he gave you a bucket and he's like, "Let's bang," is that still like romantic? Is that no longer?
Okay, hang on. In my head, obviously being an adult who's an experienced adult, you're not gonna think that far back, right? But if somebody went, oh my god, if a thimble was like a kiss, then like if you could hold up a needle, because let's be honest, it's fucking hard to have a needle and try to put a thread through it without fucking missing the hole, right? Which is
Hmm.
some problems for some women out there. Um, unfortunately. So in this case, you're like, okay, so maybe if the dude was had the thread and she has to hold the needle, and if he makes it through, it was like, oh my god, it's insertion, whatever. Then that would be that in my head. That's what it would have been. If I
So
wanted
still
to
a
make
two
it
person
look like how
act.
it looks, then yeah. Wait, what?
So it would still be a two person act, but
It's
still within
yeah,
the
it has
sewing
to be a two
theme.
person act. 100%. 100%. And then you got to tie a knot on the edge of it just to make sure that it's like a done deal. It's like the
Of
red string
course.
there. It's like the red string theory, but being done that way.
What
Where
red string theory?
have you ever heard of it?
Um, I no,
Okay,
maybe not.
so I don't want to say the wrong culture, but in East Asia, there's a red string theory that you end up reuniting with, so imagine a red yarn that is completely entangled with knots, and you cannot there's so many like loops, and it's tied or bound, and at the end of each piece of that string it's like tied to a person's finger. So the red string theory is that without ever having to cut the red string, it doesn't matter what happens in life, you're still going to end up with that person. That's the theory. So it could be a past lover. It could have been somebody you had in your past life. It's like they're always going to find each other because once they've created that bond, um, and you're able to untangle or do the loops and the knots of life, it doesn't matter at the end if the string was completely perfectly untangled. You That's still your person because both fingers would still be tied to the end of the string. That's
Does
the
the
red.
string does that only attach to people?
Ideally, they're looking at like lovers, or and some people might say like soulmates, and some people say soulmates aren't really like actual like lovers. Sometimes they're like a sibling or they're like a best friend. So I guess it depends on the culture. But from
Hmm.
what I've read, it seemed like I took it as a romantic thing. Like it's saying, no, that's your soulmate. Like maybe it's somebody you like I've always had this weird vision that keeps coming up that I was like um I'm not saying Joan of Arc, but like I was like a maybe like an empress and I had like a military around me. And in that military, it felt very Roman, very Grecian, I guess, or very Greek. So, and I saw who my lover was, like somebody that I was in love with, but he fought with me. And it's like the vision of, oh, but I'll find you in the next lifetime. Like at that point, I was saying like I'm fighting, which I shouldn't be, but looking at him across the battlefield, I'm acknowledging that's my soulmate. Like that's him, and I don't know what he's gonna look like in the next physical lifetime, but he stood by me. Like even in the worst period of life, like that's what I look at. If I was getting deep about it, that's a vision that flashes sometimes like a couple of times a week or a month, depending.
Hmm.
And I think it's really interesting
Does
because I
does the
still
person
remember.
always does the person always look the same, or is it just like a vibe you get?
I think in that past life it looks the same, but I don't think they're going to look the same in this lifetime. I don't even know if I look the same. So my brain is inserting who I am and then it's filling in a blank for someone there, but I don't believe it's going to be that person. I think it's always like in my head, maybe if that's somebody that I'm interested in, I'm putting their face there, but in reality, it could switch. I won't know. So in my head, I'm like, oh, that's my red string theory. I don't know who it is yet until we're there. And then I'll know. And I'm like, oh. So I always thought that was kind of weird. I have a weird vision. It flashes up a lot. It
Hmm.
comes every now and then. It's weird. It's really weird. But then when I saw his loyalty, I was like, oh, okay.
Do you ever
Okay,
notice
that's
anything about yourself as you're there, like any insignia, any manner of dress, like?
Oh yeah, like I mean, I feel like it's very Greek or very Roman. I'm not looking down at myself. I just know that I'm on a horse and that I've chosen to fight the war, and it's like the chest plates and everything, it's very silver. I mean, he's all decked out in silver. But it's not, it's like almost around like the Spartan, like 300 kind of like that.
Hmm.
But he's not part of like the Spartans where he's just like the lower half and top completely exposed. Like he actually has armor. So I don't know what time period that's in, but I just remember seeing him in like catching his eyes, and I kind of just looked at him, and he gave me one last look, and he's head on. The enemy was like 2 feet from his face, but I caught him right before like this swarm of horses and impact of armor. And I have like a spear in my hand because I'm going in the other direction for where we're being like attacked from. But that was like the final goodbye. Like nobody knew about us. It was like we knew who we were to each other, but I saw his loyalty and he wasn't I mean in some cases I think maybe he was higher ranking in the military, but we always kept like our relationship very hush hush, obviously. Like it's like the same bullshit tales we hear all the time. Like you hear the empress where she's in love with somebody on the lower level and you can't talk about it. It's almost like Helen Mirren when she did was it Queen Catherine? Was that the series that she was in? And
I
she had
actually,
it's
I
on
have beef with her.
HBO. No. Well,
And
okay,
I
well
would
don't look at it from that perspective. Look at it from the role that she played, and then we'll leave it right there. But okay, why do you have beef with Helen
that
Mirren?
role specifically is one of the things that bothers me. Is
What?
I had gotten the I decided to try masterclass
Hmm.
just to see what's on there or whatever.
Hmm.
And Helen Mirren teaches acting.
Yes, I saw that.
And when I ran out of things about sales or business, I was like, something that helps me, I believe, when I'm at these conventions, when I was on the TV show, things like that.
Mhm.
Like, I think that I'm very good at crafting my character to whatever the room is reading for, you know? And
Sure.
so I thought acting skills would come in handy. So let
Yeah.
me just see this chick's been acting for like 110 years. So surely she has something to say. When I'm telling you this was the most useless thing I've ever sat through in my life.
Stop.
There'll be a class like um character work. And then she'll be like, "Oh, they say that you really should stay committed in your character, like in between takes when you're acting, but oh, I don't do that. Next class." Like it's just like
No, but
she
who's to
says
say?
she says nothing.
Okay, but who's to say that they didn't ask her the right questions? They kind of said, just tell us whatever. And then on top
If
of
you're
that,
putting your real name on something, you should be more choosy
true,
about the content. Like if you're saying
true.
you're going to teach how to act and you just look like a senile old person ranting and sitting in a chair and they try to like edit around what you're saying, like
That's
that.
true. But it also comes down to editors too. How many times have we known footage, like good footage, behind the scenes footage for a film that don't make it to the final cut because producers have their hands in it, investors have their hands in it, and directors are like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
So who's to say whoever decided, let's edit Helen Mirren shit, didn't completely just leave out massive good parts to her shit?
She just had nothing to say.
That's true. And they probably just did it like an interview
There
because
were
they're like, oh,
two classes that were just a waste of my time and made me stop kind of using the app.
stop.
Otherwise, there's a lot of good shit on there, but like it was her, and then R.L. Stein teaches writing. Guess what?
Okay.
He did not teach
What?
anything about writing. All he did was show me that this dude is a weirdo and he has no personality. And despite having written like 900 books or whatever, he can't give you one piece of practical advice. Not one.
And yeah, God, now it makes me wonder if like because they committed to like these big name people, if it that was like,
Yeah, it's kind of like Dancing with the Stars.
yeah, you
Like
can't like take it back. You
after
know
the
what I mean?
first
It's like,
couple, it's like you'll take any schmo and just
yeah. And
yeah.
they're like, oh, we kind of have to get our money's worth out of this person. And we just spent like, 16 hours of fucking footage on these people that we have to edit out and we don't have shit. So we still gonna have to add it to the archive anyway, because we need to pay them for doing the master class.
Hmm. The one that I enjoyed the most was I don't remember her name, but the woman who founded Spanx. She just had a really interesting
Oh,
like business perspective and like a her rise was like interesting to like listen to. I like
yeah.
people that think outside the box, like her, and then the guy that did Liquid Death Water. That guy,
Yes.
like,
I
it's
was shocked
very.
by that shit. I had it at Alabama Shakes concert. It's the first time I had it. And I was like, this is actually not bad. It's actually good.
Hmm.
So, okay, so what did you okay, I want to go back to Spanx thing because I want to do a segue to what you and I talked about. How you were talking about like eco-friendly diapers, like and why we should try to find more sustainable diapers and stuff
Hmm.
like that. If you're willing to open up that conversation here, like I do kind of
Yeah,
want to get away
for
from
all
that.
the people still listening. So
An
apparently,
hour later.
apparently diapers like live like 100 years, a little more in the dumps. That's how long it takes to actually break down. So that means every dump that your kid takes is going to outlive you and that child, and possibly that child's child. That's crazy. Because when you also think of how much babies crap and
Yeah,
how much waste there is, like I opened a vape pen the other day and I had to throw away a bag, a box, a plastic tip. It was just like we create so much waste over nothing.
yeah, we
And
do.
it's like, even if we found a diaper that lasts 50 years, which is still ridiculous, that's like 50 years better. Like, how are we not doing better than 100 years of breaking down? We're going to run out of space.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
And like, that's the stuff we're going to be stuck with.
We're gonna start incinerating stuff. We're gonna start like putting it into the atmosphere. It's gonna be really a really horrible situation. And people who live locally are not going to be okay with it because they're like the odor, the smell. Like here in Texas, if you're driving to Lubbock, Like, vents closed on your car or not, you can still smell the cow manure for at least an hour through your car. You're like, oh my God, it's bad. And it's like, we're in cattle country. So imagine that. And then we're talking about human waste and like, how do we get rid of it? How do we cover it? It's so I side with you. I was really interested in when you brought that up because I'm obviously not being a parent. Like I don't know what that is. It does spark my curiosity. Um, Especially considering that it's sitting in the landfills that long, which is
Hmm. And that's
insane.
what so many of these businesses, when they really make it big, is because they noticed a need that wasn't being served.
Yeah.
Or, and I think, yeah, well, like you said, you don't have any children, nor do I, that I know of. But
Oh my God.
no, I got
We're about to
pets
find
though.
out on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and submit your samples now to see if we
Yeah,
can confirm
that's
that
why
you
we don't
see
have
the
any
box.
call-in guests. I'm not trying to get hit with any Mari
I
stuff.
feel my father. My
But I
father.
make sure I only ever sleep with women I think would make great single moms.
You wow. Wow.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
not having any kids, like we're able to have that outside perspective where like when you're in the heat of being a parent and these poor people are getting so desensitized so quickly, like their babies like crapping down their front and puking down their back and it doesn't even phase them, you know? But like it's up to us to see that from an outside perspective and be like, well, that's gross. And
Right.
there's got to be a better way. Because when you're being crapped on by some crying, constant mess, you don't have time to think about there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better brand. Where does this go after I throw it away?
And now we have to segue into the conversation of okay, what about adult diapers? How many geriatrics actually sit in their diapers? Unfortunately, in some nursing homes, like you're short on CNAs. So by the time they get to them, like, and imagine the amount of waste that comes from elders who are in need of having to use adult diapers due to lack of bodies helping them and rotating them, whatever, or
Hmm.
lack of family members or family members at home not being able to pay for that kind of CNA coverage. Like these are serious conversations. So add the kids on top of our geriatrics, right?
Hmm.
So now that's a bigger issue. Let's talk about pets. Some people have pets who are disabled who are wearing those same diapers,
Also true.
puppy pads, and then we have I want to investigate this and maybe we can talk about this the next time. I need to understand how moms are still using cloth diapers. Like I kind of got a synopsis from somebody I went to high school with. She kind of posted on her Facebook and was like, yeah, we use cloth diapers because it's more cost effective. And people were like, hey, like, how the fuck are you doing that? And I'm curious. And I kind of have an idea of how they're doing it, but then I'm like, I don't know if I can even justify like spraying that many diapers and in real time holding on to it that long and then needing to do a full load of cloth diapers. And can you dry them? Can they only be air dried? Like, these are really serious questions I think people should ask and figure out why is it such a nuisance for moms to be able to do that, or why there's not, or maybe there are laundry services out there that do offer to pick up cloth diapers and like sanitize that, wash, sanitize, sterilize, and then bring them back home.
Hmm.
I'd be really curious to figure out how they're doing it because that's how it was back in the day.
Especially like, yeah, it's the only thing that everybody does. So like, how is there not a better way after like how many thousands of years? Like the best we could do is 100 years of forever chemicals and plastics.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And I'm like, I feel bad. Like a perfume box. Um, it's beautiful, it's laminated, but on the inside, I'm like, oh, it's cardboard. But in reality, I can't recycle it. I can't. It actually tells you can't. If it has a laminated casing, it can't be recycled.
So
When
much of
you
recycling too, it's not even really ever being recycled. And
there,
actually, Follow the recycling. So much of it ends up in your state in Texas where it gets stockpiled. People have
Here's
been
my
putting Apple trackers in their recycling to see where it actually ends up.
That's insane that people would even do that, and I'm impressed that they did. I I live in an area where we get trash picked up twice a week. But to encourage recycling, we get recycling pickup once a week. Oh, but then let's take it a step further. We're not permitted to have trash bins. So it pushes to promote for recycling. So you don't end up with bags of trash in your garage that you have to hustle out before 6 a.m. the night or the morning of, because do it out the night before, the cats, the coyotes, stray dogs are going to get into your trash. And now you have an extra pile of shit that you have to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it works in my specific area. I'm like, that's interesting. And I see the push, but I used to be an esthetician and I was doing lash extensions for a client. And funny enough, I found out she worked for my area, this county, specifically in recycling. And I told her how we need to look to see how Germany and Finland are doing their recycling because they've got it fucking down. And then when I looked at hers, I was just kind of like in awe because she actually told me there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get recycled. Like it just won't. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm hearing it from the horse's mouth. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's nuts. So it's just really interesting. So to say the least, I mean, I'd be really curious to dive into this more for sure. But I thought your idea of like addressing that was really big because after we talked about it, someone I used to work with, her sister put a rant on it on Instagram and I screen grabbed it and I need to send it to you just so you could see it to the same thing we're talking about. So I think it's wild. So we'll see. We shall
We'll
see.
see.
Yeah. Well, do you want to go ahead and wrap us up for this evening? Since I think we've hit the 1 hour mark and that's as much tolerance I think half the people will put up with our bullshit today.
They'll put up with whatever we tell them to put up with.
I sure hope so. It's like we have some valuable information, valid
I don't
thoughts.
know. They might have dipped out by a minute 20 of hook talk.
I don't
But
care. We'll break it up for them for the people who have the short term patience and can't sit through an entire 2 hour 45-minute movie.
that is a long as hell movie, too, isn't it? Yet they found no time to make any of those kids heroic and worthy of the sword. But we should rewatch it and rehash it on the next one.
I'm so down for that.
And let's find out, did Tinkerbell throw her life away for one kiss? And was that kiss a thimble? Or was it a regular one this time? Because he's a man.
Yeah. Yeah. So we should do that. We should watch the original Peter Pan. We should then go and watch Hook. And then we should watch that newer version of Peter Pan that came out when I was like in seventh grade, I think.
Oh, with that little asshole kid with the lisp.
Yeah, dude. We were smitten. We were like, oh, he's kinda cute. And we're all like, we
Yeah.
do believe in fairy.
He was coming off of the Aaron Carter hot streak.
Yes, good for him. Make his bank, dude. Like
Rest in
ride that.
peace, right? Isn't Aaron Carter dead?
Yes. I completely
Yeah.
forgot. But you know what? It's like we had a whole era of blondies that we still can appreciate outside of Aaron Carter. I had literally had a dream with Jesse McCartney the other day and I was not mad about it. I was like, wow, that sounds like a win for me. So we'll take it.
All right. Before we wrap up, anything you would like to say to all the people out there?
Mm, yes. Live well, eat well, don't stress about the bullshit. And if you really need a segue outside of the news and your traditional like subscriptions, you should definitely visit Sardi House's webpage, purchase yourself Invasion of the Bee Girls, and just deep dive into it. I think it'll be a chaotic, uh, interesting one liner, just kind of go to bed kind of book to read, especially if you're still waiting on your next show to come back for the next season, which we all know takes about like a year and a half to edit anyway. So I know you bitches have fucking time.
That was not a paid advertisement, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it wasn't.
That's a real plea to read a book where in real life, just like real life, the bees are dying and the women are monsters. Invasion of the Bee Girls by B.S. Lewis. Well, it's been another episode of BSFM. Everyone thank our girl Megs for showing up tonight. It was
Thanks
awesome
for
playing.
having
It was
me.
awesome hanging.
Likewise. I enjoyed this. This was fun.
I'm glad you got to look at my frozen face for like half of this time. I'm still making
Dude,
that. I got like
you're
a
lucky.
Zoolander look.
It was actually a good face, so I'm not mad about it. I'm just sad that we got rid of it so soon.
I feel like I look cross-eyed and my mouth is open.
I
It's
didn't
like,
even look that closely, so I'll be interested to see who's looking that
yeah,
closely anyways.
I look like I should be dragging my knuckles.
Stop. We should get
All
JB
right.
to illustrate that one for you, so that'll be good. That'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Until next time.
We'll see you guys then.
Later.